how much would any freelancer who is starting copywriting should expect that he would get, and then any freelancer who has come up to a level to which you are, then how much should he expect in terms of the remuneration on a monthly basis? Hey everyone, so welcome to another video of my YouTube channel where I'll be conducting an interview of Miss Pragati Gupta. So this will be the first interview in the series of interviews which I'll be conducting across all the niches. It will be related to influencer marketing, it will be related to freelancing, it would be related to YouTube marketing, and basically in a nutshell about personal branding and digital marketing. So if you want to see these kind of interviews in your feed, then do subscribe to the channel. In this particular video, I'll be discussing with Pragati how she got started with freelancing, how or what are the nitty-gritties of the copywriting and how is it different from content writing, what's the pricing strategy that she follows, how did she get her first gig, and a lot more. So if you are interested in knowing all these things, then watch the video till the end and you will know everything. And trust me, this video is really exciting. Even I got to learn a lot of things while interviewing her. So keep watching. Okay, so we have Pragati with us. First of all, Pragati, thanks a lot for finding time for the audience, and they would be really happy to get all the wisdom which you have to share today. And I'm also looking forward to it. I'm really excited. You are the first guest of this particular series which I'm starting up. Interviewing people and asking them questions which generally people have, which they are not able to answer and which they are not able to find answers to. So basically, I'm really glad. Okay, I'm actually out of words, so I'll say a lot of times super excited and glad. Okay,
thanks for having me.
yeah. So Pragati, would you mind just introducing yourself first for the audience so that they are aware of your credentials and they know what's coming up next?
Okay, so first of all, thanks for having me. And I'm a content creator and copywriter. I'm born and brought up in Bhopal, and I completed my schooling and graduation from here itself. Then for MBA, I moved to Indore, and it was in 2019 that I completed my MBA and then started as a full-time freelancer. So since then, yes, I'm working as a full-time freelancer now. Apart from that, I come from a business family. My mom is a graphic designer. And yes, this is a brief about me.
Okay, so that's perfect. Okay, so basic question is, let's start with the copywriting part first, which is a lot of people get confused between content writing and copywriting, and you also might have come across a lot of people who would have been asking you the same question again and again. So, would you mind elaborating it for a while? What is the difference between content writing and copywriting according to you, as you are a copywriter? So, I'm assuming there will be a very brief answer to it.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. So basically, content is, I would say, everywhere. Let's say blog posts, articles, website copy, audio, like the YouTube video that we are currently recording. It's like everything is content. Then apart from that, in very short, I would say content is everything that kind of educates, encourage, and entertains your audience. So anything that is written with that purpose is basically a piece of content. And to brief in like very simple words, copy is words that sell. So anything or everything that is written with the purpose to convince or persuade our audience to buy a particular product or service is a copy. So let's say all copy is content, but not all content is copy.
Okay.
Like Venn diagram. Huh.
Got it. So, as you said that it has to be persuasive. So, which is one of the most persuasive writing which you have done, like which you feel is your masterwork?
Okay, landing pages, sales pages.
So,
Yeah,
is okay, yeah.
Mhm. And apart from that, the Instagram captions, social media copy, and so kind of persuasive, like we are kind of promoting a particular product or let's say service of a company, of a business basically. So that is kind of very persuasive or convincing. Apart from that, it is all educational content, entertaining content, and all such things.
As a copywriter, what do you think is the most challenging part of your copywriting skill? Like, it can be anything. Like, is it writing for social media, or is it writing for landing pages, or something else?
Challenging, as in
Challenging, as in which actually picks your brain up, and you have to think a lot before actually implementing or executing that part.
okay, everything. When you come across this writer's block now, so everything is challenging.
Okay.
Be it like just a two-liner or anything. So it totally depends upon like at what hour I'm working, how much productive I am during that particular period. So it depends upon that. Or else like a landing pages can be written maybe in an hour, or it can even take like 3 days. So there is nothing in between.
So basically what you are trying to say is that the mindset game is much more important than actually the execution part. That's what I'm inferring from.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the most important part. Like, that's the only reason I focus on clients, like selecting the clients.
So what made you choose copywriting?
Yeah, so honestly, I've been into writing for years, but I was never actually sure about like how to monetize this. So I didn't have an idea about how to go with this and all, because it is all about like complete your schooling, complete your graduation, your post graduation, and then go to a 9 to 5 job or something. And this was first factor that I didn't want to go for a 9 to 5 job, of course. And secondly, I come from a business family, and my mom is basically from a creative field. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe we can say creativity of like gift of creativity, so that was there. So I channeled it to copywriting. So that's how it started. Plus, I like to play with words and all such thing. And I'm really very interested in marketing, like personal branding, marketing, sales, and everything. So that was the most important reason why I switched to copywriting.
Okay. That's a really good one. I think, yeah, basically creative when creativity runs in your family, then basically it gets a bit easier,
No,
I
my
feel.
mom is a designer, and I don't know the D of designing, so I'm not good at it.
But still you have seen them doing that. So as we discussed
Yeah,
earlier as well, that that gives us an upskill, like actually knowing the difference between the invoice and the receipt is a very big thing. So
yeah.
so I assume that, yeah, that does play a role in helping us get up ourselves get a good mileage over there. So if someone has to start copywriting, as there would be a lot of people in my audience, so what would you suggest them to do first, since they don't know anything about it? Just assume that they are 20 or 21 years old, and they are just thinking about copywriting. So what should they do first, and how should they go ahead?
Okay, so first and the most important part is reading. So you need to read a lot because there is no shortcut as such. Like you cannot master this copywriting skills overnight, and I believe like learning is a never-ending process. So you cannot complete a course and call yourself a great copywriter or an expert or something, because even the experts keep on learning new things, because every day, because content is a very dynamic field, and every day something new comes up, like reels are coming up,
Hmm.
short videos,
Hmm.
and attention span is kind of reducing these days. So yes, you need to adapt yourself accordingly. So it is learning is actually a never ending process. Secondly, a few books that I would recommend is firstly this cashvertising. Second, it is copywriter's handbook. And apart from that, this Everybody Writes from Anne Handley and Words That Sell. So there are a lot many books. So it totally depends upon you and on which level you are currently. So it depends. And apart from that, I have subscribed to various newsletters like Alex Catoni, Very
Hmm.
Good Copy by Eddie. So I love what they put out in their newsletters, like every week or maybe every alternate days or something. And in podcast, it is like there is one podcast, Good Copy, Bad Copy, and one is like Hot Copy.
Okay.
So yeah, these are the two that I have come across, and they are really very good.
So, is there any course that you did when you started your career, or you just started with the bang and then you started doing it, and then it came all natural, and then you pivoted and you improvised and you started going through all the blog articles, and then it happened? So, what
I didn't do
did?
any course.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot many people ask this thing like, how did you start it? How did you start? And you didn't do any course or any such things.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I didn't do any course, but I did MBA in marketing. So my marketing, like these all things were very clear. And copywriting is, I would say, basically your marketing and advertising skills plus your writing skills. So I was into this writing from a very long time. I had this inclination towards it. Plus I was like really very crazy, not very, I was not, I'm still, and I will like always be crazy about this marketing. Like everything, like from the let's say identification of a problem to solving that particular problem, how to offer that particular product, how to launch that product, how to brand that product, labeling, pricing, and everything. So I'm really very crazy about that. So yeah, copywriting is combination of both your writing skills plus marketing skills. So yeah, so
Okay.
I believe that's how it started.
Okay. Um, So as a freelancer, what is your source of inspiration? Like how do you, like for example, if you got a project, let's say, okay, then how do you go about it? What's your process? Like for example, everyone has their own process of creativity. They go to Pinterest, like designers. What is yours? How do you go ahead and then articulate that or brainstorm it and then come up with a good strategy and then put it up in place? How do you go about it?
Okay, so inspiration is, I guess, a step before motivation. Is
Yeah.
it?
Uh,
Okay.
step I'm trying to dive into the work part basically, where if you have to, let's say, write about the landing pages, okay, then you obviously, as you said, that you have to consume content. So what's the first step which will come to your mind? Like, would you be doing a market research, or would you be doing something else? How would you go about that particular problem statement that you have been given?
Okay, so before I start anything, I focus on the environment. I need a calm environment to basically think. And so for that, I go to Instagram and memes. So it helps me actually to switch from one project to another. So I need at least 10-15 minutes of that break. So I go to Instagram, I scroll memes, I listen to music, I go for a short walk or something. So yeah, that actually helps in creating that kind of environment. And then I go start with like the research part basically.
Okay, so which is your favorite meme, by the way?
Okay, I'm a memer. So
So every meme, okay,
uh,
fine. There would be a lot of memes. Okay, fine. I'll
yeah.
I'll share the library of all the memes which you would share with me with all the people over here. Anyway, so who are your favorite copywriters?
Favorite copywriter, there are so many, so many on LinkedIn. I'm really fascinated by the content that people puts out. So I really like at least 1 or 2 hours every day. I go to LinkedIn, I go through all the posts that people write. And so I won't say favorite, because there are so many, but yes, I admire the work of Alex Catoni, Eddie, and various other.
Okay, makes sense. Do these guys also have their podcast, or they are basically just on LinkedIn?
Alex in fact have a YouTube channel, I guess. Yes, I have seen a lot of videos. So she has a YouTube channel. Eddie, I have subscribed this very good copy newsletter. And apart
Okay.
from that, I go the LinkedIn posts. And podcast is, yes, I guess it is there. I am not sure because I have not gone through it. But yes, maybe it is there.
So I guess I'll link this particular thing in the description for you guys. So yeah, that's what I'll do post this interview. Then what, are there any set of tools which you use, which are the paid ones or the free ones for your copywriting?
Not actually paid ones. It totally depends upon the clients. So like if a client wants to check the plagiarism just for his satisfaction, so I go to this copyscape and all to check that. In fact, in copywriting, I don't think there can be anything that can be plagiarized
Yeah.
because it's hardly 2 lines. So yeah, maybe content writing we can go with it. And apart from that, the regular apps, that is kind of Hemingway, Grammarly, and Qtext and all such things. And apart from that, I am really very addicted to this rhyme zone.
Oh, nice. I've
Find
also
this, yeah.
gone. They're nice. They are
So I'm
nice.
addicted to it. Like in a day, I open it like 10 to 15 times to come up with this two-liners, and also I use that very much, like very frequently. And apart from that, there is one tool that my friend recommended, Co-Schedule. I guess it is a headline analyzer, but I'm not sure about it because I've not personally used. Have you used it?
Yeah, I have. I have. They give a pretty good
Okay.
headline. HubSpot also has a similar competitive tool like
Your
Coastkit. Then there is also one more, American Institute of Advertising, some particular tool that also gives headlines. So when I just started YouTube, so I used to go through those particular websites and used to type that, so that I get an overall score and I know that this particular copy is persuasive or not. I'm not that good of a copywriter, obviously. So yeah.
but you are a good digital marketer.
That depends. Anyway, today is the day about you. Anyway, so moving on to our next question, which is basically now let's move towards a bit of a freelancing thing. So we talked about a lot of copywriting, but before moving that, there's one particular question which I personally want to ask, which is basically, is there any specific niche that is your favorite and you want to work, you love working in that particular niche, and why would that niche be your favorite?
Okay, I've not actually limited myself to a particular niche. I work in various like basically finance, tech. Yeah, tech is something like I don't like that much, but it is like if there is something very urgent or something, so I take up that project. But it is not something I like doing. And secondly, I really love this travel, fashion,
Okay.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
and also the medical. Though I'm not from medical field, but I love writing copies, product description, and everything. And yes, specifically, I love working on this product description part. So that is something like currently also I'm working on three different projects for product description. So that is something I really love doing.
Okay, makes sense. So why is it that you are infatuated with medical? Did you try doing some introspecting and you're like, okay, maybe I have a calling for doctor and that's why, and I didn't get to do it. So can that be a
No,
reason?
there is nothing like that. I always wanted to do MBA and marketing. So
Okay.
there is nothing a backstory for this medical or something because I was sure itna nahi padna hai. So,
Okay.
so I'm from commerce background. I did MBA and that's it. Not that much. Mhm.
So for a common person, do you think? Okay, so I'll move a bit towards MBA. I also wanted to talk about it a bit because there has been a lot of conversation around MBA. A lot that people generally do MBA. And post that there are various avenues which open up for them. So I want to talk about that as in respect to your MBA. So when you did MBA, okay, before doing MBA and after doing MBA, what were the changes that you saw, in terms of your opportunities, or whatever you can say, like how much do you think MBA played a role in getting you more opportunities?
Not in terms of opportunity exactly. I would like to talk in a bigger picture.
Okay.
So basically, MBA had played a very important role. Like those 2 years are not just in for the sake of academics, but the overall development that happened in these 2 years. Like I was living in a completely new city. I didn't know anyone there. So like managing your finances to like traveling to staying alone. So all these things, like these small things actually adds up. And secondly, in the terms of academics, so I was there in a government college, so not that much of presentations and all, I believe. So that was not actually there. It was like just the academics theoretical knowledge. That's it. And apart from that, when I compare from this like this government college and private college, so of course there is a huge difference because private college it is like they are going at 8 and coming back at like 8, so 12 hours or 13 hours of college
Mm-hmm.
or something, because and ours was like 8 to 12, so we had a lot of time. So I was there like when I was doing MBA, I did a lot many internships. Like after 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I used to go for the internships and all such things, extra courses and all. So yeah, it totally depends upon you, like how you want to manage your time. So that played an important role, staying alone and all such things. And in terms of opportunities, of course, like yeah, MBA people say it is saturated, but yes, I believe saturation is there in mind. So if you know how to stand out of the crowd,
Yeah.
if you know how to uh, present your expertise or how to establish yourself as a leader in a particular field, so saturation is not there, or it is completely in the mindset. If you say ki saturation is there, so it is maybe because you are having self doubt. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That can only be the reason why you believe in the saturation thing.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you can share your thoughts as well about this oversaturated market, and also because people are like every time I get to hear this thing like content marketing and content digital marketing, it is kind of getting oversaturated. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think?
Okay. So I was, about to, after this part, I was about to go to that part only, that, whether it is saturated or not. So my thoughts are, yeah, obviously you just have to stand out, you have to just be in the top 10%. And it's not that
Mhm.
hard to be in the top 10%. I guess it's all about the consistency and everything. And frankly speaking, it's just like, certification and all. Like once you do a certification, as you mentioned that you haven't done any course, in terms of copywriting, you just started being a practitioner. And as you started practicing, you became
I made
perfect.
a lot of mistakes like
We all do
and even
that. So I think it's not saturated. It's just like coding. I also mentioned the other day in the LinkedIn post as well that it's just like coding. Everyone used to say in 2012 when I started my BTech that coding is saturated. It's far from saturated till now, and I don't think it will ever be. And the same goes with digital marketing. You just have to stand out, and if people see that there is a reason to pick you up, they will automatically. So yeah. Anyway, nice asking the question to the interviewee. But
Yeah, in terms of opportunity, of course, when you complete your MBA, you have so many job opportunities. Yeah, placements are of course there. So job तो मिल जाएगी उसके बाद, no problem.
So now let's talk about your freelancing journey. That this is the part which I'm most excited about. Why? Because you are the person who who got a job opportunity, then left it, and then from the rock bottom, you actually you are scrappy enough that you picked it up, then you grind it, and then the grind is there, okay, and then right now where you are, we all know that. So what was the journey after college? Like having a 9 to 5 job and then transitioning to a copywriter role. Can you please share it with the people?
Yeah, definitely. 9 to 5 job, I don't share that much because it was just like hardly 2 months. So I don't count it as an experience. But yes, it actually, I joined that job just to get a surety of what I don't want to do in my life. So,
Okay, so the manager of Pragati, if he is watching this particular video, then yeah, she just wanted to have a look. She wanted to see how the other half lives their life, and then for the whole life, she's like, okay, I don't want to live like that. I wanted a taste of it.
yeah, so just going to office at 9 and coming back. No, I'm not against a 9 to 5 job because everyone has their own perspective. So people love doing 9 to 5 job. People love doing this, starting their own business and all. So it totally depends upon you, what kind of life you are suitable in, what kind of security you are looking. Because I'm at a point like I'm just 24 right now, and in my mind it was something like I didn't have that much of responsibilities. My family was like, try your best, do whatever you want right now, because at this point of time I don't have any liabilities as such. So I was free to try out a few things. Yes, a person going for a 9 to 5 job may have a few reasons, like they might have family responsibility and all other things. So criticizing someone from a 9 to 5 job is, I don't feel it is good. But yeah, for me it was not for me. So from the very early stage, like when I was like 5 or 6 year old, so from that point of time I was into ki nahi, I want to do business, I want to do something that is more than a 9 to 5. Like it was just for one reason, because I don't want to go to office at 9 and come back at 5 and live that life for my lifetime. So I just wanted to explore more options. I wanted to work with more people. I want to interact. And basically, coming from a marketing field, I really like interacting with people, though I'm an introvert. But on a professional level, I really like talking to people. On a personal level, I don't share that much. So yeah, that was the biggest reason why I started freelancing. And journey was like I left my 9 to 5 job without a clue as such. I didn't have any clue that time ki what I want to do next or something. I just left my job. I came back. I was in a mindset ki nahi, I want to give myself some time. थोड़ा सा time देते हैं. Let's think about it, like what I want to do next. So I'm kind of blessed in that way कि my family never pressurized me that कि नहीं कुछ करना है. Of course, the pressure was there from the relatives, but not from the family exactly.
It's a good thing.
So yeah, my family was kind of very supportive. So eventually, like it all started when there's a friend of mine who is into digital marketing. So उनके ऑफिस में he actually needed a content writer or a person for a copywriting purpose. So he asked me to work out a few blog posts and article for him. And when it got published, I got call from two startups, one from Chennai, it was a travel company, and one from Delhi. So I got call from these two startups, and then it eventually started. And then I got surety. I'm kind of enjoying this kind of life, and it all started then.
I guess my next question was this only. How did you get your first gig? But okay, you already answered that. It's fine.
Yeah, so that's how it was, through recommendation. And then it was like through like people went through my the work that was already published, and then they contacted me. And then eventually, like honestly, I started with LinkedIn बहुत ही बाद में, like It was like I started freelancing in 2019, but I started posting on LinkedIn in June 2020.
Yeah,
So अभी जाके 15th को it will be like 1 year complete.
right. And we are in contact with, we are in contact since 1 year, like for 1 year. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year I messaged you. Yeah, it's been
Yes.
1 year now.
Mhm.
So, if someone has to start freelancing, just now, and they don't have any recommendation, or they don't have any referral, so what would be your advice to that particular person who is out there and who is very confused how to get their first client?
How to get their first client? I won't recommend any freelancing sites first of all,
Mm-hmm.
because I have seen people get so much of disappointment. Disappointment is there. People get discouraged. कि नहीं projects नहीं मिल रहे हैं, something
Mm-hmm.
sort of that. So freelancing site is something I don't recommend very initial phase पे. You can go to LinkedIn, search for clients. If not LinkedIn, you can go to Instagram, maybe Facebook groups. You can try Facebook groups also. I don't recommend that much, but yeah, initially you can try once or twice. So you can start from there. Because what happens in freelancing sites is, I believe, it totally works on this ranking and all things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 5 star, it is very easy to get a project. But if you are just starting, so it is kind of thoda sa difficult.
Okay, makes sense. To elaborate this particular thing more, what would be your process to approach that particular client? Because most of the people know that they have to approach them, but there is a certain way how you need to approach them, because and you are a copywriter, you tap into the mentality of the customer very well. So as a copywriter, what would be your approach to approaching a client? How should they go ahead, salutations, and what all, like all the technical details which are there.
Okay, so to generate leads, basically it is inbound lead, outbound lead. So when you are approaching to someone, of course, you need to put in more efforts as
Mm-hmm.
compared to when someone is approaching you.
Hmm.
So yeah, you need to have a really, really very good pitch, I would say, when you are approaching to someone. Check out their background. Check out if they really need a copywriter or content writer.
Hmm.
Don't just go and tell them, because after what happens now, if like currently also, like when people approach ki theek hai, do you need
Hmm.
uh, someone for internship or something. So what happens is ki you forget after a period of time, like that person kind of approached you.
Hmm.
So check out, like don't waste your efforts or energy on someone who don't need a copywriter at the moment. So check out the requirements, check out if you match their requirements, and then approach them with a good sales pitch, of course.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. So, guys, do make a note of it. Don't just send a random, get
Yeah, random DM is very
yeah,
intimidating.
because they are very templatized, and anyone would be able to smell it that it's just a random thing, and I don't wanna even like, if someone is not putting in effort to write something for me, why should I put in effort to read it? Simple as that.
Absolutely. Exactly. But I would say ki it is better to get inbound leads, focus on that, focus on building your personal brand. Instead of you approaching client, let them find you and come to you. So that
Yeah.
would be more easy to convert.
So I would like to talk a bit more about this one. So since you're saying inbound, and both of us are dependent upon inbound leads. Frankly speaking, I am also dependent upon inbound leads. So what would a person who is just starting out on LinkedIn, because you have more than 90,000 followers on LinkedIn right now, okay, and you started with zero, okay. So how would one person scale it up, okay, to a level that inbound leads start coming to him?
Okay, I would say the power of content.
That was a copywriter answer. Now give me the real juice.
Okay, so yeah, so you need to firstly find out the reasons, like why should someone approach you. So showcase, like tell someone your skills. What can you offer? How can you solve their particular problem?
Mm-hmm.
So give them a reason to approach you. Showcase your work. Like let's say if you have already worked with a client, you might be having a testimonial or a recommendation. Put it up. Show them like what it is like to work with you, how the experience looks like, what you have to offer. Like let's say if you have helped a business grow from 0 to 10, so showcase that thing. You have helped, what kind of strategies have you used, that actually attracts client, because when you showcase your work, it is like you are doing something and you can help them. you can solve their problem. So that will make them come and talk to you, discuss their business, and talk to you about the requirements basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. That actually is true. So, how much does a testimonial, according to you, plays a role in converting clients? That particular social proof.
It helps a lot. It really helps a lot because I would say all the high tickets client that I have closed have never asked for a sample or my portfolio. So I believe it is just because of the website or maybe the recommendation and testimonial. So yeah, that helps a lot. It helps in establishing the credibility and the trust within your audience and the clients.
Fine, that makes sense. So, as a freelancer, what's your daily routine? How you keep yourself on track?
Okay, on track. So not bragging, but I'm a really very self-motivated person. So I don't need a reason to wake up and make myself work. I don't need an alarm or something. So um, like let's say my deadlines, my goals actually keep me motivated. And my day, it is kind of, yeah. So my day actually starts with a cup of coffee in one hand and memes on the other, in the other. So yeah, so the reason is I believe a lot in the positive vibes, energies, and everything. So the starting initial 30 minutes of your day matters the most. So I don't check any kind of mails or WhatsApp or business messages or LinkedIn during that particular period. So I go to Instagram, scroll memes, or maybe I just go out for a walk or something, and then I come back and then I start off with the day, like going through the mails and then start working. I work for approximately 10 12 hours and then it is like family time. No work then after that.
So, 10 to 12 hours are like it's way too much.
Yeah, nahi, I have reduced now. It was like 14 15 hours before. So,
I'm not moral policing. I'm also working that much. I was just
yeah,
trying to
actually, I can
say.
understand. Like being a freelancer, you have to invest that much of hours. And it is, I believe, not just you are working, but I believe 10 hours is like you are working for the clients and 5 hours you're working for yourself, like upskilling
Hmm.
yourself
Hmm.
and going through the market, industry changes, and all such things. So that is very important because it is a very dynamic field. I mentioned that. So focusing on your personal brand and all such things, like let's say upskilling yourself. So that is not paying you, but you need to invest time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I was
So
about
that's
to ask, my next question was how do you stay motivated? But you already said you are a very self-motivated person. So, and you said that there are goals which which motivate you. So particularly, how should a person whom I'm asking for the audiences and for myself as well, how should a person approach his goals so that their goals motivate them? How should what should be the narrative, and how can they mold that narrative to always stay motivated and on track? It's a very spiritual question, but I had to ask.
Yeah, it totally depends. Yeah, like everyone has different driving factor. So for me, it is. Of course the monetary thing is kind of really वो तो सबका ही रहता है.
Hmm.
So finances, monetary thing, it is of course there. But for me, it is I really love doing this thing like what I do. So I don't find कि I need a reason to stay motivated. So
It's
yeah,
just that you
motivation.
are already interested in that particular thing, and it's a hobby, and you get to do for the rest of your life. So it's
Yes, yes,
just
absolutely. Plus, I don't even have a reason to not to be motivated because I'm living my dream life right now.
ah.
I'm having this, yes, I'm having the whole flexibility. I'm having the freedom. I'm having this vitamin M that is very important. So everything is
What's
like
vitamin
sorted.
M? This is a new thing. Okay, what's vitamin M?
Vitamin M is money.
Oh, okay. I am a boomer now. I'm officially a boomer. I didn't know about that. Anyway, Z, I am coming. Okay.
No, I'm a millennial, not a Gen Z.
No, I like that. Yeah. So basically, now I don't know about that now. So I am getting old. Anyway, so what is the most annoying thing that you do as a freelancer, which you think is the most annoying one?
Okay, so I'm not saying negatively, but yes, very good question. Uh, it is like कि, yeah, people firstly assume कि if you love your work, so it is like you should love all the aspects, but it is not like that. There are a few aspects that maybe you don't I won't say you hate, but you dislike them. That's it. There's a difference, kind of. Hope I'm able to
Yeah,
explain. So yeah, there are a few things. So the most annoying thing is kind of reminding clients to make the payment.
that's true. That's true.
So I really don't feel like it is kind of very awkward, and it is majorly in the short term projects. That's it. Because in the retainer, it is very clear like when the client needs to make the payment and when I need to send the invoice and everything. But in the short term project, it is kind of a delay is there, so you need to keep reminding them. So that is very annoying thing.
Yeah, same here. And so most of the clients that you get are inbound. So what's the screening process look like?
Screening process basically looks like, firstly, if I'm really interested in that particular field, like what their business and all looks like. Secondly, it is their requirements. Like let's say I'm not perfect. So of course I there are a few things in the copywriting too that I don't actually work on. So if it is something related to that, so I actually say no to that and I recommend another copywriter.
Okay.
So yes, I recommend that. And apart from that, screening process also, it is, yeah, like 20-30% of the client actually stops there and the advance payment kind of point.
Nah.
So that is really very important part.
Hmm.
So that's important. And apart from that, of course, the bandwidth matters the most. If I'm really not having the bandwidth to take another project, I recommend someone else.
So guys who are right now looking at this interview, if you want projects, go ahead and contact Pragati. She gives clients like this. Okay. So go ahead, please. Well, Pragati, as we talked about the pricing thing already, so how do you price your services? Like, because the pricing structure is the most, annoying part for most of the people, and also the most misunderstood part as well. So how do you approach the pricing strategy?
Pricing part, firstly, totally depends upon the, I would say, experience. Experience matters, your expertise matters, scope of work matters, the urgency matters. So let's say
Hmm.
firstly, let's take the experience part. So when I started as a writer, I started as a content writer
Hmm.
or copywriter. So comparing that part versus now, like after 1.5 or 2 years, of course the difference is there because I have worked on like I would say roughly 1,000 or 1,500 blog posts or article or number of landing pages. So many websites are already there that I like don't even share in my portfolio or something. So
Hmm.
yes, just because I don't share, मतलब ठीक है.
Hmm.
So yes, experience matter. Next is your expertise. Like a few people are really good in this travel niche or fashion or maybe medical or business writing or something. So like if you have niche down, so your expertise matters because you are kind of just working in that particular domain and your knowledge is more as compared to someone else.
Hmm.
So of course you need to take that factor into consideration. Secondly, the scope of work matters the most. So let's say if the scope of work is like if it is a short term project or if it is like a retainer client or like time frame, I mean time frame matters.
Hmm.
Second, next is the urgency. So let's say if for a project I need 5 days and the client is having just 3 days of time, so of course I'm gonna charge 30 or 40% more because I'll be keeping aside all my existing projects and working on that particularly. So
Hmm.
of course my other work is on hold, so I'll be charging more from you. There is nothing like why am I charging more? So all these things matters. And yeah, for the pricing it is like I basically follow these four methods. First is per project basis, second is per hour basis, third per project basis, per hour basis, and per word basis I don't prefer that much. It is basically per hour basis or per project basis or maybe milestone payment or something. So I mostly work on this per project basis, like I code the timeline and scope of work and a particular amount that can be mutually agreed upon, and then I come up with that pricing thing.
I love the urgency part. I never included that. I should also start doing that. I don't know whether a performance marketer can do that, but this is actually a good one. Urgency. I never actually looked at it like that way, because the person wants it and I'm putting everything on hold. So definitely I'll charge more. And if it's 40 to 50%, then definitely I'll start
But
taking urgent. Who is on urgent basis? Urgent basis would be taken care of.
but yes, of course, yeah, 25% to 30%. It is like it is okay because I'm
Mm-hmm.
investing a lot of time in that, and plus other projects are on hold. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of telling my other clients to wait just because of you. So of course I'm gonna charge more from you.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, second last question, that is, any advice which you would like to give to old you, like 2 years ago?
2 years ago, no advice as such.
Just live the life.
No advice as such because, yeah, because if I won't make that mistake, or if I would have not made that mistakes now, I would have not been like here where I am currently, like leaving a 9 to 5 job and like doing nothing like for 2 to 3 months and thinking and all such things. So that is actually, I believe, it is a process. It's a part
Mm-hmm.
of life. So I don't want to change anything. I don't regret anything at this point because I believe that the regret kind of drains your energy. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't keep that thing. So yeah, no advice as such. It is just like an appreciation. I would say, like, keep going. You are doing your best right now, and everything will be fine soon.
So you would advocate making more mistakes.
Yes, it is important because the thing is ki if like after 3 years someone will come to me and ask what not to do, I'll be the maybe right person to explain what not to do. Maybe I'm not the right person to tell what to do, but I can tell what not to do.
Yeah, that's a good one. So this is the last question, and only if you are comfortable sharing this one, okay, then you can go ahead. It is, how much would any freelancer who is starting copywriting should expect that he would get, and then any freelancer who has come up to a level to which you are, then how much should he expect in terms of the remuneration on a monthly basis?
On a monthly basis,
Yeah, a beginner and an expert, more than an expert, I'll say.
no, I'm not an expert. Yeah, so initially it totally depends like what level you are at. And basically, there are so many people who switch their field. Maybe they are coming from medical background and then coming to copywriting. So their experience will be like thoda sa different as compared to someone who has done like maybe MBA in advertising or digital marketing or marketing
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So they will be having a clear idea. So that depends like at what level you are starting.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, like let's say if you are starting as a content writer and you have done like your English honors or something, so you might be having more knowledge as compared to other person who has done something else. So you are starting, maybe you are starting from level 1, but you are starting from level 5. You don't know, but you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you
तुझे
should take
पता
all
नहीं है
such
लेकिन तू
things.
है.
Absolutely. Because I'm not from English honors and I'm not so like, grammar Nazi, or I would say perfect. I don't have that much good vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe like you in copywriting you don't need good vocabulary. Matlab, हाँ, basic of course you need to be very clear about. But yes, it is not like you need that Shakespeare level of English to start as a content writer or copywriter.
Mm-hmm.
Because of one soul, I would say one uh, the soul, because of one reason, that is like in content writing or copywriting you are basically creating content for the audience in general. So if you are not conveying that thing in that way, like in the simple form, so that is of no use. If you confuse your audience, you basically lose them. There's a quote, I don't remember the name, the moment you confuse you lose.
Mm-hmm.
So it is like try to convey anything that you want in the very simple words, and I would say least, because I'm a copywriter, so I would say least possible number of words because no one has that much of time to read that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say big paragraphs. So if you can convey that one paragraph into one line, so it is better to convey that way. And I skipped that question. What were we talking about?
We are talking about how much can a person who is just a beginner expect to earn on a monthly basis, and how much can an expert like yourself would earn on a monthly basis. It obviously would be a range answer, but just wanted to get the numbers for the audiences.
Yeah, it depends. Like also it depends ki I am not a person who believes ki everyone has same 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So सबके 24 hours is different. It depends ki if you are having like if you are a college student, so of course you cannot give 24 में से आप 12 hours तो नहीं दे सकते हो. So
Mm-hmm.
that also depends. Secondly आप कितने projects, how many projects you can manage. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say on an average if you are working with 5 clients, so you can easily earn somewhere like 25 to 40. Well,
Mm-hmm.
as a beginner I'm saying, just
25 to
it's a very
40,000 in a month, right?
in a month, yeah.
Uh-huh.
बहुत ही basic सा, like if you are taking 5 short term projects, not
Mm-hmm.
actually retainer basis
Mm-hmm.
में थोड़ा ज़्यादा रहता है.
Mm-hmm.
And short term projects, yeah, so 25 to 40, maybe somewhere in between. And gradually, like I would say, as a freelancer, if you are working, so over the period of time, you can upskill till, I would say, 1.5 to 2.
Okay, got it. That gives.
1.5 to 2 as an individual, not as a
Mhm.
team. If you are a
Mhm.
team, so I don't think there's any limit to it. You can
Mhm.
earn like how much efforts you are putting. So it
Mhm.
totally depends. But as an individual, I believe कि इतना ही मतलब you can manage, because it is like कि बहुत ही peaceful, आपको mental peace भी चाहिए है. So
Right.
it is something like you can take, yeah, आपको अगर ऐसा है कि like if you just want to work for a month, so yeah, of course you can overload yourself with the work and you can earn maybe like in lakhs, really
Mhm.
in lakhs. But if you want to maintain this consistency, your peace of mind and everything, perfect work life balance, then of course a normal, I would say, on an average you can earn 1.5 to 2.
Okay, makes sense. So, okay, fine. Now I got the thumbnail for my for my video. Fine. Anyway, thanks Pragati for answering all these questions. It was a really, really, really insightful interview. Even I got to know a lot of things. I never think that I'm a I have learned everything. But after this particular interview, I'm
Was
humbled.
it just kind
I, I'm humbled. Sorry, what are
नहीं
you
नहीं,
saying?
लर्निंग तो कभी पूरी नहीं
Yeah.
होती है. इट इज लाइक नेवर एंडिंग प्रोसेस. सो इवन आई डोंट से कि कोई भी चीज में आप परफेक्ट हो सकते हो. इट इज नॉट
Mm-hmm.
पॉसिबल. परफेक्शन इज अ मिथ.
Yeah, that's
सो
true. That's true. That's true. So yeah, that's how I would like to end this interview on this note. And yeah, guys, see you next time. Fine. Bye bye. So that was all for the video, and if you want to follow Pragati, then you can go ahead and check out the description. I have linked her profile in the description. You can definitely go ahead and check out her profile on LinkedIn, and if you are someone who is looking for a great copywriter, then I would definitely recommend Pragati. Also, if you want to see more of these kind of videos where I'll be interviewing industry leaders, then go ahead, subscribe to the channel. And also, if you like this particular video, then go ahead, do share it with your friends, because that will help them a lot. Anyway, until next time, bye bye.